Hey everybody, welcome to Dead Spot Podcast. We back for another episode. It's been a while since I did an individual episode. I've been having my guys on doing the weekly picks and things like that, my tiers for football. I had a couple guys come on talk hoop. Shout out my boys Red, shout out my boys Millie. But this is gonna be another hoop episode. I know we still in the midst of football season, but hey man, I'm a hoop first guy. Like I love the NBA, I love basketball, I love college basketball. I mean, I love football too, but if I had to pick, I'm a hoop guy. So we in the middle of the season. We about a quarter way through. It's not going to be too long of an episode, but I just wanted to touch on a few things that's going on that I've been seeing in the NBA and things like that. In December, we're going to have some more guests on. We're going to have my guy Ricky on. He going to talk college hoop. He loves college hoop. He a Duke fan. I'm a North Carolina fan. So our whole time we've known each other, we've been going at it. It's F Duke as far as I'm concerned. It's F North Carolina as far as he's concerned. But now that we've grown, we know we didn't realize we could talk hoop without it being just straight slander. So if they looking good, I could say it. And if we looking good, he'll say it. But it's still at the end of the day, we both hope another one do bad. But he'll be on later in December. Jade, my boy Bobby, they coming on sometime in December. Talk hoop, both college hoopers. Just kind of get a lay of the land. We be having good debates and stuff on Twitter, things like that. So wanted to bring it to the pod. But before we get to the NBA, like I said, I got a few topics, not too much. But before, I just want to touch on one college topic. Last week we had Gonzaga versus Duke, which was a huge game. Obviously, the top two picks right now in the upcoming draft look like it's going to be Chet and Paolo. So we was looking to see what that was going to look like. And what I can tell you is, hey man, Paolo looked like the real deal. He came out, gave him 20 points in the first half. He was dominant. He was going at him. He was doing everything he needed to do to show why he was the better player. I think that raised his draft stock tremendously because not only do they have Chet, but they also have a lot of good players in Gonzaga. They're a complete team. They did deserve to be that number one ranked team. They are complete, but he showed why he's special. But not only him, but then in the second half, he had 20 in the first half. He only had 1 point in the second half because he was dealing with cramps and stuff. I felt not only was it a good showing for him in the draft, but it was a great showing for Duke moving forward because Gonzaga, like they usually do, early second half, they start making a run. They got up, I think, like 4 or 6 points. You could feel the momentum turning into them. And Roach and all of them continued to make plays, and they continued to keep them in it and win the game. So I feel like this was a great overall win for everybody at Duke. As far as Paolo, if I had to look at it right now, he's to me the number one pick. But Duke as a complete team, they showed you why they were top 5 ranked because it's not just him. In college, and Ricky, we'll talk about this when he come on, but you cannot just, unless that guy is Kevin Durant or Carmelo Anthony or somebody like that, it's hard to just win in college basketball with just one guy. So Duke showed that they deep. They showed that they got talent. I still hope they choke, but right now they looking like one of the best teams in the country. It's still real early. I ain't gonna talk too much about North Carolina. My guys, we just came off back-to-back losses. We don't play again until we play Michigan on the first, I think. So we'll see how we do against them. But we'll talk more about that when Rick come on. But I just wanted to touch on Paolo. I think Chet also, I really like him. He didn't have a great game. You can kind of see him start to get going in the second half. But I mean, 7'2", 7'3", great rim protector. I feel like he gonna get into the NBA and be a top 5 rim protector in his first 3 to 4 years in the NBA. Easy. His ability to time the jump, his ability to he a quick jumper. His second jump is quick. He long. He know how to keep going straight up. He not coming down committing fouls. Plus, he can shoot the long ball. Like I do feel he is the second pick in the draft. But I do want to touch on. I did found this out not too long ago. I did not know Imani Bates wasn't gonna be eligible for the draft. Bro, we have to stop with this shit we doing. He's not eligible for the draft because he turns 18 in January, and you have to be 19 in the calendar year of the draft. So he won't be 19 until January of 2023. So he can't get drafted in 2022, even though he already would have done a full year of college. That's crazy to me because, in my opinion, it would be Paolo. I think Imani, I mean, he a little rough around it, and maybe they did kind of overhype him a little bit when he was a freshman and sophomore, but I still think he got enough raw ability to where I would take him second. And then Chet would be third, and then Durant would be 4. Imani Bates teammate. I think that would be my top 4 if as of right now, obviously things change. Other players start Hardy. I mean, it's other players out there, but right now that would be my 4 if Imani Bates is eligible. I don't think it's fair that he's not eligible. If I thought you just had to be 1 year out of high school, where is this? I mean, because his birthday late, that's not right. That's not fair. He a top. Even if you don't think he's better than Chet, he's still a top 3 or 4 prospect. So to make him stay a whole nother year in college, taking money out of his pocket, even though I know they can make money now, it's still not going to be what he would have made going to the NBA. So I just think that's wrong. I think that's something they need to review. When you got a player that special to make him play 2 years in college, if that's not what he wants to do, it's wrong. But that's the rules right now. So what we got Paolo, we got Chet, we got Durant. I think them the top 3. I really do like Chet. I think he could kind of be like a mix of like a KP, like with a Rudy Gobert type rim protection. Like he could shoot that 3. He could dribble a little bit. He got a little bit of post moves. He obviously needs to put on some weight. Man, he'll be fine, man. He been playing this long at that weight. He gonna get it up a little bit. He gonna get in the gym. He gonna get his eating up. He'll be fine. I think he's special, but I don't think right now he's better than Paolo. I like what I've seen from him. I wasn't as high, but I really like what I've been seeing from him. And like he said, he tweeted the other day, all of these cramps he's been having, he ain't even been able to show fully what he can do. So that's scary for what all he's already shown. But we're going to transition now to college. I just wanted to touch on that game. I feel like that was the biggest game so far. Maybe probably one of the bigger games we're going to have all season. Just had to touch on that. But let's move on to the NBA. Let's get to talking about my pick for the to go to the championship, the Phoenix Suns. You know what I'm saying? They're riding a 16-game win streak right now. They looking great. I feel like they are coming out showing what happened last year was not a fluke, that they are a good team, that they are a complete team. When you look at Chris Paul, when you look at D-Book, then they got other key pieces, Bridges, Crowder, Aiden. They added Shaman on the bench. They're able to bring Cameron Payne back. You got Cameron Johnson. The thing about it is, outside of D-Book, nobody has to score a lot of points for them to win, and nobody cares. Like, it'd be games where Bridges might have 17 points, and it'd be in the next game he'd come and have 6 points. But if they win it, you couldn't tell what his stat line is based off of how he playing or how hard he going on defense. Same with Jay Crowder. He might get hit 3-4 threes in one game and have 14, 15 points with a couple free throws or something. But in the other games, he might only have 3 points. But they have guys that know what they need to do and they're staying involved no matter what they roll. If the book is going to give you his bucket. Chris Paul know when he needs to give you a bucket, he can give you a bucket. And Aiden is doing what he needs to do. He protecting the rim. He, the pick and roll still looking good. I still think he deserved to get paid, but it haven't been really affecting his play. I thought it was early. They started 1-3. I was kind of worried, like, oh, maybe the Aiden thing will be, but they've been rolling ever since. They haven't lost in a month. So I was like, I feel really good about that. I do feel like if you was building an NBA team right now, based off of the way they play, based off of the three-point shooting, all the things that's going on now, what's a better team than them? They have a true point guard, the point guy. They got a player that can give you 30 any given night. They got 2 3-and-D guys. They got a rim protector who's mobile, who could get up and down the floor, who could switch and pick and rolls, who could do all these different things. And they got a good solid bench. You got Cameron Payne, you got a solid backup point guard. So Chris Paul getting older, the good thing about getting Cameron Payne is it might be some nights with Chris Paul where you don't want to play him 35 minutes, where you only going to give him the 22, 24 minutes. Cameron Payne can come in and it's not going to be like a huge drop off. It's enough to where y'all can maintain. Cameron Johnson, he's not a great defender, but he's a good help defender and he's a great shooter. Also, another thing we got to touch on, I feel like D-Book not getting enough credit. I kind of feel like he's starting to turn into like the Steph Curry of, oh, he's a bad defender, and nobody gives them credit for what they do in help defense. Like when the Warriors was at their best, when they had Dre, KD, Clay, Iggy, the reason a lot of that was able to work too is also because of Steph Curry and what he was able to do. He was never out of position. He was never in the wrong place. He was helping. He was talking on defense. All of those things, when you're not a great on-ball defender, are pivotal in your team still being great. You can even look back in Detroit when they was the best defense in the league. Richard Hamilton wasn't a great on-ball defender, but if you moving on a swivel and we got these other great defenders around you, as long as you talking, as long as you in your right spots, as long as you not getting backdoored all the time, we can be good. And if you watch the game, I don't know if y'all be watching Phoenix games, but D Book is active on defense. He talking, he fighting over screens. He's never not where he needs to be. Like he's not getting beat. So it's like I feel like as a team defense, the Suns are great and they got their best player to buy in. That's part of the Chris Paul effect of that's what leadership bring. That's what all of that bring. But I do feel like D Book, if you watch some film of D Book this year and even last year compared to 2-3 years ago, it's a tremendous difference in what he's doing on the defensive end. So I feel like, to me, hey, I know the Warriors looking great. Even though the Suns is on a 16-game winning streak, they still a game behind the Warriors. So that's showing you how good the Warriors have been playing. But I still feel good about my Suns pick. But let's talk about the Warriors. They do play each other tomorrow. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a great game. I don't think that's going to be like whoever wins this game going to the finals, but it will be a good measuring stick for both teams a quarter through the season. Neither one of them is playing today, so it ain't going to be this is a back-to-back. They both got a day off. The Suns have been out for a couple of days, actually. But so we just see. I'm interested to see how it go, but I do still feel good about the Suns. But as far as the Warriors go, I got to say, man, I was wrong. I was wrong about the Warriors to this point. We will see if they can continue what they're doing. But for them to be the best team in the league, for them to only have 2 losses, that is not something I could have seen happening. I didn't have them like low. I had them fifth. I had them finishing 5th in the West. So right now that's looking like obviously they're gonna finish top 3. But I mean, as long as everything stayed the same. But I'm really surprised. I knew what Steph was gonna bring to the table. I knew how elite and great he is. But as far as Draymond, he admitted the last few years he been bullshit. And that's all I ever ask, bro. It's just hold yourself accountable. You know you haven't been playing like the dominant player that you was playing when they was on top. So now that he's admitted that, he done got back in a little bit better shape. He's right now looking like the defensive player of the year. I think if the season ended right now, Curry's the MVP and Draymond Green's the defensive player of the year. I think they back to that. Gary Payton Jr., what he bring to the table. I mean, obviously Jordan Poole is balling, man. And look, and a lot of us was wrong about Jordan Poole. When the Warriors drafted Jordan Poole, it was like, why would they do that? Like Kevin Porter Jr. was still on the table. Like I thought that would have been a better fit, but he's coming alive. Like, I mean, he averaged 18 points. I think he's shooting over 40% from 3. The few games Stephen and missed, he went for 30. You know what I'm saying? Like he's showing he could be a solid piece to the puzzle. And that's a big surprise to me. Like everybody playing good. Damian Lee, they got all of these different Iggy back. Obviously, the numbers ain't gonna be great, but the overall impact, if you watch the game, what he brings to the table for them is super important. Dre and Curry, like they chemistry, bro, is on the level of a like D Wade and Bron, bro. Like they know where each other gonna be at. They know what they need to do. They know like it is really special to watch them just communicate on the court, whether it's off ball, whether it's in the pick and roll, whether it's man, you just got to tune in and watch what they do. So I'm really impressed with the Warriors. I will say I didn't think they're going to be this good. I'm not ready yet to say I would take them over the Suns. I mean, Klay coming back early. I thought Klay wasn't coming back till about the All-Star break. They got him right now with the G League team, so that's great. I'm excited for Klay to get back. People don't think I don't like the Warriors. That's not true at all. I love Klay, and I love what he brings to the table. I love the type of hooper he is. You can't really be a hoop fan, I think, and be an anti-Klay guy. I don't think so. So I know everybody looking forward to him coming back. Wiseman with the G League team, so they getting 2 of their starters back, not just 2 pieces. These are 2 players that, if it was fully healthy, would have been in the starting rotation from jump. So I want to see what it's. I think Warrior fans is being a little too optimistic about what they're gonna see early from Klay. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be on a minute restriction. The shooting probably be a little off early. You got to get his legs under him, but the shooting gonna come back. He's top 3-4 shooter all time. That's without a doubt. But as far as what he brought on the defensive end, which was also a key part of what Klay did, that's gonna take a while to get his footing back in him. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they got players like Gary Payton Jr. in them now. Hopefully, they can kind of help out, but he's not gonna be that guy that take the best perimeter defender, like at least not early on. And I don't think. Now I could be wrong. I've been wrong about the Warriors all season. Maybe this is another thing I'm just wrong about. But I don't see him coming back and just taking on that responsibility as that 3-and-D guy, which to me, Klay was probably the best 3-and-D guy in the league. So I don't know if he could just come right back to that. But I do like what they're doing. I am interested to see what the Warriors and Suns game look like tomorrow. To me, those two are the best. Them the two best teams in the league right now. It's just that simple, you know. So let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it going. This is another team I had coming out the West. I had them finished actually ahead of the Warriors. Now look like I'm gonna be right about that. But the Mavs, let's talk about it. They have been looking good. Luka, I mean, I know he just missed a few games. He was kind of he had a little injury, but he playing okay. Obviously, with Tim Hardaway Jr. playing like, you know what I'm saying, we need him to keep doing what he's doing. He is a big part of that. Like him and Luka play great together. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what it is about Luka that bring it out of him, but he been balling. And then if you look at my guy KP, he been hooping. You know what I'm saying? He averaging, I think, 23 and 9 in this month, something like that. Let me see. It was something. Yes, the dude is averaging 23 points, 9 rebounds over the month of November. He being aggressive. He looking back like he was with the Knicks in them early years. If they could do that, that is a solid three. Luka, KP, Tim Hardaway Jr. Now you got a building piece. Now I might owe Mark Cuban an apology. Now this is way too early. KP could get right back into being soft and doing what he was doing. But he said, you know, Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki, when they first got together, they didn't really get along. And it worked out. So he compared that to that situation. I thought that was BS. I didn't really know why he came out and said that. But he might be right. If they continue to do this, and you know, winning cures everything. So if Luka still put up his numbers, obviously he's not putting up the 28, 8, and 8, but he currently averaging 25.5, 8, and 8. So he's still dominant numbers. They top 4 right now. Obviously, Steph Curry is the MVP front runner right now. KD up there, Jimmy up there, DeRozan up there. But by the All-Star break, if he's still putting up these numbers or the points go up a little bit more, they still in the 3 to 5 range, he gonna be right in the mix for the MVP, like I said he would be. And I feel good about that. He needs this from KP though. If KP keep this up, Luka could get back in the MVP discussion, and they not a threat necessarily this year, but they wouldn't be an easy out if KP plans this, because obviously we know what Luka is. If you've been watching my show all the way back to my first episode, y'all know how I feel about Luka. I think he is the future face of the NBA. I know Giannis is the best player right now. He's still young, so but Luka, to me, what he brings to the table is special. There's not a player that I would take in the league over him for the next 10 years. I don't care what age group it is. He is the guy. That's just my take. But KP, hopefully you keep balling. Tim Hardaway Jr., keep doing what you're doing. And Mark, hey, man, keep looking. Like, they not a team that got a lot of assets, so it's not going to be easy to trade for people. But, man, you got to keep your eye out, man, and keep these situations like Boston, Jaylen Brown, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot going on. It's looking like that might not be able to work with Tatum and Jaylen. So if that's not going to be able to work, obviously Boston going to pick Tatum. Jaylen Brown would be a great piece to add to Luka, Tim Hardaway, and KP. Or, I mean, you could look at a player like a BI. BI is another guy in a couple of years. I mean, if it's two things gonna happen, either Zion's gonna say he want them gone because they not really clicking and they not winning, so they gonna need to get BI off or let him go, or Zion gonna leave and they gonna blow it up anyway. So BI and Jaylen Brown would be two guys that if I'm Dallas or if I'm Atlanta. If I'm Dallas or Atlanta, those would be two guys in the next few years that I would be monitoring those situations closely. I would be doing everything outside of tampering that I could do. And then be honest, bro, Mark Cuban, bro, you got big chicken. Tamper. Let them, you feel me? Not really just, I shouldn't say tamper. Don't tamper. But you feel me? You got to talk to somebody a little bit. They going to find you a couple of dollars. You know you got a couple of dollars, big dog. You need to get one of them. You get one of them, you cooking with high grease. So I think they build it in the right direction. But if you're not gonna trade KP now because he's playing better, they don't really have many trade assets. They don't really have a lot of great picks, anything like that. So keep your money low. You know, you already got Luke under contract. I think KP already paid. You just got to, Tim Hardaway got his money. Y'all just got to sit back, kind of keep your money right, keep in a good situation, keep Luka happy, and sit back and see which one of them people come, man. This is a marathon. Y'all should know this from with Dirk. It take a long time, but that if you get that one ring, they say Dirk got the best ring. Man, my friend, I was just talking to my guy Dijon. He said Dirk ring the best ring in NBA history. That then elevated him from a playoff choker to a top 15, 20 player in NBA history. So that ring could really be big. You just gotta wait it out and wait for your moment to attack. But those are the people that you need to be sitting out on. Keeping it going, keeping it going. I didn't want to do it to you, man, because my boy on the team, boy, but them Lakers, they in trouble, trouble. Them boys is not that good. And Russ, that's my dog. Everybody know how I feel about Russ. I love Russ. I love what he brings to the table. The last few years, he been like, you know, I ain't even gonna say that because second half of the season, these last few years, he been balling, but it's not looking good right now. But I don't want to just blame Russ. I feel like Russ started off the season horribly. He been looking a little better these last few weeks, but it's just not a good fit. He's not good for what the Lakers need. Him and Bron don't play good together. They both need the ball. They both need shooters around them. They both need to be able to free reign to create. So with them on the floor, it just doesn't really work. I think Frank Vogel is doing a horrible job of game management and rotations. His rotations suck. So it's like Russ, between him trying to figure it out and struggling, Frank Vogel struggling, AD struggling. AD, bro, is shooting the worst three-point percentage of any player to ever shoot more than 2 threes in a game. That's horrible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't get what he's doing. I don't get what's going on. I don't get why he's struggling like this. But I also don't think, I mean, when Brian got hurt, that was big because Russ is not the type of guy AD needs. AD is a superstar, but sometimes he don't like think about that. Like, I don't know what he be thinking. He don't play hard every night. And he need a guy like Brian to where it's like, okay, like, bro, you the man. Like, we're going to give you the ball 4-5 times. Like, you do what you need to do. Like, keep him motivated. Russ is the type of player where it's like, if he sees something lacking in you and he see that you're not doing it, he just gonna be like, fuck it, I do it myself. Fuck it, you don't want to shoot the ball, pass it back, I'll shoot that bitch. That's not what AD need. He need more of if you look at AD career, his best 2 seasons was when he was just with Bron that first year and when he was with Rondo back in the Pels, when he got his only playoff series win for the Pelicans. Who was on that team? Rondo. Because Rondo and Bron are motivators. They are players that could get you to play at your absolute best. Russ, that's not necessarily his leadership style. His leadership style is he lead by example. He's not he's not somebody that's finna like rally the troops. He'll rally them to follow him, but like for you to like, it's just not a good fit. It's just not gonna work. He's not gonna keep bring the best out of AD, and AD's not bringing the best out of Russ. There's no reason you should have to play Russ 51 minutes, Bron 50 minutes, and AD 49 minutes, and you lose to the Sacramento Kings. I don't give a damn at what point in the season. And listen, Frank Vogel, you will not see heaven for playing Carmelo Anthony 43 minutes, my nigga. Like, bro, what are we doing, bro? They in year 19, bro. You cannot be doing this to them, bro. Y'all cannot be this damn bad where that's what y'all doing. Bron, 50 minutes in year 19. Melo, 43, bro. Melo shouldn't be playing. Come on, bro. That should never be his season high for minutes. That is ridiculous. And y'all still took the L. So it was all for nothing. Like, bro, you got to do better. And then another reason why I think it's time to panic. Everybody always say, oh, well, you know, the GM, he going to get people off. He going to trade this and that. Have y'all looked at the Lakers roster? Who they trade? Who they got where they could get somebody? They ain't got too many picks. They traded picks. So it's like, where are they going to get better? They act like Harden, THT, they act like he the next coming of Kobe or Jordan or somebody. So he's untradeable. You're not trading AD. You're not trading Bron. And you can't trade Russ, bro. People are not going to keep taking Russ's. He's the highest paid player in the NBA. Him and Steph Curry. He's making like $43 million, bro. People's not going to keep taking that contract. And even if they do take the contract, how much are you going to get back for him by himself? You got Monk. You got Ellington. You don't have like great pieces this year. You don't have no picks. So I don't really see where they could, like, you could maybe swap out an old dude for another old dude and see if this old dude fit better. But to get a younger piece or to get somebody that's going to really help, they don't have the assets for that. And this is not 2K. You have to have assets to make trades. So, and everybody talking about this and that, and these players are not that tradable, bro. Nobody's going to take Rondo, bro. Or if they do, they're not giving you nothing back that's going to help you take a step up. So they need to dig deep and look at what they got and figure out how they can make these rotations work. How can you get Russ more minutes without Bron? How can you get AD more minutes with Bron? I think AD needs to be playing more of his minutes with Bron instead of Russ, because, like I said, he needs that motivation from that leadership that Bron brings. Russ need to be out there more. Him and Melo, you know what I'm saying? Let them run the second team. But AD and Bron need to be a lot more locked in together. But I do think they're struggling. I don't know. If y'all see this, you know, we can talk about it on Twitter. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. But I don't see where y'all getting no trades off. I don't see where y'all getting hella better. I don't know. The only good thing that the Lakers got working for them is the West is not that good. The West is not that good. Outside of the Warriors and the Suns, the teams that ahead of them, I can't really say are just that much better than, or that I trust them that much. You know, you got Utah. I don't believe in Utah when it comes to the playoffs. The Clippers without Kawhi, not for real. Even though PG is balling, shout out to PG doing your shit. Who else in there? The Nuggets. I don't think they better than them without Jamal Murray. Like, it's just Mavs. Like I said, they build it in the right directions, but I wouldn't take the Mavs to beat Brown and them yet. So outside of that, but I do still think that they are two teams better than them, which are the Warriors and the Suns. So there's a chance that they can play one of them in the second round and not get to the conference finals. You don't get to the conference finals, bro. This might be the end of this Bron shit, bro. Not as far as him playing. He gonna probably still play a couple more years, but bro, Bron not winning no more ring, bro. Hey, and shout out to Jess. We bet. You said Bron got 2 more rings in. He owe you 1 more, or you owe me some chicken. I need my chicken. I get back to you on that though, but I think this Bron shit is over as far as the rings go. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all let me know. Keeping it right along, keeping it moving. Let's talk about some of these East teams a little bit. The Bulls. The Bulls looking great. Hey man, I had them finish 7th and 8th. They one of the top teams right now. They balling. DeRozan averaging 25, LaVine averaging 25, everything going on. But guess what? I think the Bulls are frauds. I'm still not convinced. I'm liking what I'm seeing. They feeling real Utah-ish to me. Like, okay, they're gonna be a good regular season team. But bro, the thing is they have no depth. And now they starting to lose players. Williams got hurt. People starting to go down. So even a few players that you did have that you might have could have got off in a trade, now they hurt. So it's like they another team that's not really in a position to make no trade. You got this AO from college last year. He young though. He's not gonna be that big of a player. Kobe White is a good piece, but he's struggling. He only averaged like 5-6 points this year. He's not really finding his way yet. Caruso been doing good. He's been a great piece for them, but I don't know if you can count on him to be your best player off the bench and really your only consistent contributor. Like, that's not enough for me. I don't see the Bulls getting out the first round. I'm going on wax and say that. I don't care where they finish. Well, I do care. If they finish with the 1 seed, I do think they could beat whoever comes in the 8th seed, or like maybe if they 1 or 2. If they finish 1 or 2, then they might get out the first round. But if they anywhere lower than 2, bro, I do not see them getting out the first round. And the way this shit works, they might not get out regardless. But best case scenario for me, for the Bulls, would be second round. I don't see them getting past second round in any scenario possible with what they got right now. I don't think it's enough. Lonzo been playing great. I got to give credit where credit is due. He's literally turned himself into a good 3-point shooter. I did not think that was possible. Lonzo, boy, you making it hard for Benny, boy, because you showing that you could do it. You showing it can be done. You could turn yourself to a decent shooter. So I'm impressed with them. I'm impressed with LaVine. I'm impressed with DeRozan. But I don't think they got enough, and I think that they are going to fall when this shit is all said and done. I just had to throw that in there. The Bucks started off struggling a little bit. They had a few injuries, little COVID shit, but I still think they're the best team. My finals pick of the Bucks Suns. I still feel great about it. Giannis coming back, hitting them little fadeaway mid-post shot. That's all he needs. He's shooting threes. His percentage is still not good, but people got to understand he just needs to see the ball go in every now and then, where it's like if your defenders see it going in enough over the course of film sessions, they going to respect it. That's all you need. He just needs y'all to respect the jumper so he can continue to dominate. But if he even get the mid-range fadeaway that he been getting, bro, this shit could be cookies. I'm telling you, if he becomes a decent shooter, I will go on wax saying he has a chance at being the GOAT. Right now, the GOAT to me is Michael Jordan. LeBron is second. I feel like the trajectory that Giannis is on, he can do what they were able to do, and they illustrious, great careers. I think he is on track to continue to do things like that. I mean, obviously, we need a couple more rings. I don't know if he could get a couple more rings there, but outside of that, from a personal standpoint, from a personal ability point, I think he's on point to be where they were at. So it's like, I mean, it's just the point where he keep continue to develop it. The Nets, more breaking news. Joe Harris, I think they saying he out for the season. If Joe Harris is out for the season, but the shit might be getting ugly. Kyrie out with the vaccine still. Listen, man, I'm not gonna be on no Stephen A. bullshit and da 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 da. You let KD down. First of all, when Kyrie asked KD to come play for him, we wasn't in no pandemic. He didn't know, just like the rest of the world didn't know, a pandemic was coming. He ain't told KD under any circumstances, under any situation, brother, I'm here with you no matter what. This is some shit that happened that didn't nobody understand. He done made his decision. But as far as his decision go, it's really gonna hurt the Nets because what we see from James Harden is he kind of getting exposed. He kind of getting a little exposed when you look at it now without the fouls. The only games he had over 30 this season, I think he took more than 15 free throws. If he can't get to the line 12 to 15 times, he's not looking like a dominant scorer that he was. He's still a good facilitator. He's still averaging 29 and 7. I mean, he's a great basketball player, but he's not. When you show us this, and now you here, and here might be great for 90% of the league, but you showed that you could be here. So obviously it's not gonna look the same. They cannot win the ring without Kyrie Irving. I don't think so. I don't even think they could. I don't think they could get past the Bucks and the team I'm about to talk about next. I don't think they get past them either without Kyrie Irving, especially without Joe Harris as well. So their whole season depend on whatever Kyrie decides to do. Like I said, it's his decision. I respect him as a man to be able to make his decision for him and his family. He just had a baby. If he don't feel like it's right for him, then hey, health before your. At the end of the day, the NBA is just a job. I know they like you look at it more because they're entertainers, so it's like, oh, this is. But at the end of the day, your family come first. If him and his woman and for them and they baby decide not to, that's totally respectable. But that do mean the Nets will not win the NBA championship. I do not see them. KD is still one of the top 2-3 players in the league. I still got Giannis as the best based on what he did last year. Curry right now and him. Those are the 3 best players in the league. But it's not going to be enough, man. They built their team. They didn't have no second options in place. It was literally, we got these 3 superstars that can get buckets. We just going to outscore everybody and win a ring. Now, that would have worked. They got hurt, and they have no backup plan, bro. You depend on LaMarcus Aldridge, bro. He just had a heart condition, bro. He had to retire, and now y'all depending on him for big minutes. Y'all depending on Blake Griffin, bro. It's not looking good. It's just like the Lakers talking about when Trevor Ariza get back. Bro, niggas was on Twitter talking about when Trevor Ariza get back, the Lakers was gonna be better. It's a lot of down times going on with the Lakers and the Nets right now, bro. They depend on a lot of old niggas, and them old niggas ain't looking like they coming through. I do not see them. I feel great about my pick and not picking neither one of them to go to the finals. And it's looking like we on D-Monty. But let's talk about that other team I wanted to talk about that could beat the Nets. My Miami Heat. I was going to show the D-Wade jersey, but, I ain't showed my dead spot a minute, so we this way with it. But, man, I got to say, they've been balling. Kyle Lowry, damn. You doing your thing, brother. I ain't going to lie. On offense and the defense, you could clearly see where your impact is being shown. You and Jimmy relationship is obviously helping out a lot. We know DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are best friends, but Jimmy and Kyle Lowry are really close. And it looks like Kyle Lowry been on our team for a couple of years. Jimmy playing MVP caliber ball. Bam, looking great. He looking like a defensive player of the year candidate again. What he doing offensively has been good. And Duncan Robinson ain't even been balling. He can't even get it going. So when we get our sniper back balling, I just feel like we can take off. I like what we got. PJ Tucker was a slept-on pickup. I feel when I seen that, I was more excited about that than the Kyle Lowry pickup because I know what he brings to the table. I know the grittiness that he can bring to a team. And look what he did for the Bucks last year. You look what he was doing for Houston. He undersized, but he got the heart of a lion. And I think that was just as big of a pickup for us. I like what we got. The Morris twin, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a good team. I feel like if everything worked out, I know the Bucks swept us last year, but it's a new year. We a new team. We could get the Nets. We could sneak the Bucks. Now I still got the Bucks as the favorite. But don't sleep on the Heat. I was wrong about Kyle Lowry, which I do feel in a few years is going to bite us in the ass. We gave this old-ass nigga all this money. But if we could get to the finals this year or like something like that, then it would be worth it. I really do believe that. So, Pat Riley, boy, you be really playing with me, but you didn't go get Harden. I still ain't forget you for that. Tyler Hero been balling though. Tyler Hero is in the conversation for 6 Man of the Year. I'm loving what he's doing, but I still would have got him off of Harden, bro. There's nothing that you can tell me different about that, bro. I don't care if Harden is struggling, he's still better than Hero. But at least it's not all for nothing because at least he is playing decent. I mean, he playing great ball. Hero playing great ball. So what they got going, he the ball into coming off the bench and doing that, they can get to the finals, man. They got it. They got it. I think they're the second best team in the East right now. Like I said, the Nets without Kyrie cooked. The Bulls are frauds. The Sixers, are doing good. Maxey looking good, but they're not a contender for the title. Boston, I thought they could have been, but like I was saying earlier with Jaylen Brown, I don't think that's going to work. Marcus Smart already calling them out. I thought that was going to light a fire. They out there just getting stats, bro. They not really trying to win games, bro. They bullshit. I don't like what I'm seeing from them. I was way high on Boston this year. That might be one of my worst takes of my preseason predictions, but we'll just see how they go. Not too much more to talk about. Like I said, I didn't want to make this too long of an episode, but we got to talk about the Knicks. Another breaking news. Kemba Walker was benched today for Alec Burks. Now, if we go back and you look, I told y'all, Kemba Walker was not going to be a good pickup. Kemba Walker was just name value. He is not good for what they did. The Knicks was a gritty team that played defense last year, and that's what Tibbs is. Why would you bring in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier to a defensive-minded team with a defensive-minded coach? How that make sense? What clicked in your head and said, oh, yeah, them the two guys we need? Now, obviously, you didn't need more scoring from the guard position, but not at the expense of your defense. You needed somebody that could come and give you a bucket, but wasn't going to take away too much from your defense because that's still your identity. Kemba took away from everything, and he still ain't scoring that much. Everyone say, oh, he's so much better than Alfred Payton. Alfred Payton averaged 10 and 3 last year. Kemba averaging 12 and 3. So he gave you 2 more points, and he's taking away hella from your defense. Fournier not doing shit. He's also not a good defender. You might have the worst defensive backcourt in basketball with them too. That is horrible defensive two guard. And now he lost his spot to Alec Burks, bro. Only way, and dude on Twitter gonna tell me Kim ain't been playing bad. How you lose your spot to Alec Burks and you not playing bad? How you lose your spot to Alec Burks and you saying you was contributing good shit to the team? The only way a person loses minutes and they playing good or playing decent is if they use it to a young guy that's we losing, bro. So we just gonna get him in there to see what he can do for the future. No, bro. Y'all still trying to compete. So if Kemba was balling, then why is he not in the lineup? Alex Burke ain't even no point guard. Alex Burke ain't never been wrong. Alex Burke been a cool player, but he ain't good enough to be taking somebody's job that's supposed to be quote unquote balling. The fuck, bro? I told y'all, bro. Kemba ain't it. Knicks, y'all gonna finish 10th. Y'all game out of 10th right now. When it happened, all I asked, there's a lot of people that was on Twitter telling me, oh, Dib, oh, you don't know sports. Oh, Dib, you dumb as fuck. Oh, Dib, you shouldn't have an opinion. I just want y'all to come back and tell me I was right. That's all I want. That's what I care about more than anything because the Knicks fan gave me hell on Twitter. I care about that pick more than all the other picks. Knicks is finishing 10th. Yes, sir. Before we finish, this is the last thing I got on my list to talk about. I seen this yesterday and it kind of made me sad just thinking about bruh and what his career turned out to be, man. When you think about Boogie Cousins yesterday just signed with the Bucks. And Boogie career, bruh, I mean, obviously y'all know if y'all follow Hoop, he didn't have these injuries, he didn't fell off. And Boogie wasn't as likable as a guy as, let's say, a D Rose or a Brandon Roy or Tracy McGrady. But I feel like he's in that echelon or tier of players of what ifs. Like, bro, Boogie was the best center in the league for 3-4 years. He had 2 seasons, I think, averaging over 27 and 12. He had 6 straight seasons averaging over 22 and 10. Like, bro, those are dominant numbers, bro. And I know he was slept on by the media. Him not making all NBA team when he averaging 27 and 12 because the media just didn't like him was another showing of why the media shouldn't have them type of responsibilities in voting. But it is what it is. Any player that was in the league from all the way from the top player in LeBron all the way down would tell you Boogie was the best center in the league. I feel like he was on pace to have a Hall of Fame career. And I just hate that we was cut short, bro. I mean, I know we got Embiid right now. We got Jokic right now. Karl-Anthony Towns starting to come back around. But Cousins is just as good as any of them, bro. If not better than all of them. I can't say that I would take Embiid over Cousins. I can't. I would have to really sit down to do it and think about it. I definitely don't think I would take. I don't know. I don't know if I would take Jokic over Cousins. But I know he'd be right there, still in that echelon and in that debate for best center in the league. And I hate what did happen to him. And I hate he's just like a and he because he don't have the all NBA teams on his record, because he don't have all of that, he's gonna be a guy that's forgotten about in history when our kids, I got two sons, when they get old enough to really know what's going on with NBA, they not gonna really even know who DeMarcus Cousins was. And that's sad to me because he was a player that I really liked. I can't say he was my favorite player, but he was definitely a player that I like to watch. He was my favorite big, definitely. The footwork, the dribbling ability, the jumper, what he was able to do for the Kings, then what he was able to do with Anthony Davis, it's like, bro, like, I hate that. When we look at D Rose, when we look at Tracy McGrady, when we look at Brandon Roy, when you look at uh, Penny Hardaway, when you look at Grant Hill, we have to start including DeMarcus Cousins into that. We got to, bro, because he was that level of player. He was one of the best players in the league. He would have been a Hall of Fame player in my book if he would have had another 5-6 year healthy run. But it's just tough, man. And I know injuries is a part of sports, and it happens. And part of being great is being able to maintain without getting injured. So it's partly luck. But I just feel like, man, we got to start talking more about him. But that's really meant all I got. I ain't got too much more to talk about. I didn't touch on the Hawks. The Hawks is up and down. I think the Hawks got some damn nerve acting like they got a playoff hangover. How y'all got a playoff hangover after one playoff run, bro? Like, y'all got to do better. That's why these young teams, they need some more leadership. They have no vet leadership in Atlanta, really. They need to get some out there. I think if they was looking for something to do and by the trade deadline, is get a vet in there. You need an Iggy type player in Atlanta. It was great they when they got a backup center. I still feel like they're gonna get it around. Trae Young, only player with 4 games of 30 points and 10 assists. He's still balling, but they got to be a little bit more consistent. They need some more leadership. I think that's what they need to go do. But I do still think that they are I don't know. I think they might beat the Nets too without Kyrie, but I wouldn't be as sure as I am with the Bucks and Heat. So I think that the Hawks is like the 4th or 5th best team in the East. They need some leadership. But that's what I got for y'all, man, today. I just wanted to come on and talk sports. It's been a while, like I said, since I came on the individual episode. Just wanted to come on and touch on a few things. I just was jotting down some notes, seeing what I got. That's what I came up with. If y'all want to comment on anything, let me know. I'm on Twitter, OG Dead5, Dead Spot Podcast, also on Twitter. Dead Spot, no, sorry, Dev's Podcast on Twitter, Dead Spot Podcast on Instagram. Reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Like I said, we got a bunch of hoop topics coming up. Look forward later in the week for my pick with the bros. Hey, mate, I want again, mate. I'm on their ass. Also, before we sign out, I know this is all hoop, but I got to say it. I don't know if I can wait till we get to the pick with the bros. Joe Burrow, bro, what's up, bro? How y'all put up 41 points and Chase ain't get shit, bro? Chase ain't had over 50 yards in the last 4 games. If he in the doghouse, bro, or something, just let me know so I can bench him. I know he had 200. Was that too much? Did you feel like he was showing favoritism? Whatever it was, bro, get him back to getting the ball, bro. We need that, bro. It's the playoffs about to start. You tripping. But keep doing what y'all doing, getting these wins. But, bro, get Chase involved, bro. Damn. That's all I ask. All right. We out of here. Like, subscribe, YouTube. We still trying to get to Spotify. I'm still trying to get all that together. But don't worry, we'll get it soon. We have more episodes coming out. Thank y'all. We gone.